Well, thank you for coming back. And in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about something that seems to be trending right now. And it's just not for like people like me, content creators or vloggers or gamers. It's people who have to use Zoom for like work or maybe school, or maybe even just talk to their relatives or friends. There's been a high demand, it seems like, for something like this. This is the BlueAVS video capture card. They do give you some good information on the back of the box, so if you want to maybe pause the video right now so you can read some of that, by all means. I'm not gonna give you all of the specs. But as I said, a lot of people are doing, telecommuting or basically Zoom calls and Skype and whatnot, either for work or for school. Actually, some doctor's appointments that you can probably do at home using a camera setup like this as well. And some of the biggest options or only options were something like the Elgato game capture card, and there's a couple other ones, but that's the first one that comes to mind. And those usually run over $100 or more, easily. Well, the BlueAVS doesn't come nowhere near $100 or more for you to use a camera that has a clean HDMI output. You don't need it. And software, OBS, is absolutely free. It takes a little bit of use to get to, it's a nice learning curve to use it, but you can do it. But this video capture card will also work with the camera app that's built into the Windows operating system. Now you get two things inside the box. Get this nice little extension lead, USB, full-size USB on one side, that's the male, and a full-size USB female on the other side. I'll explain for why they give you that in just a second, okay? And this is the capture card itself, right there. You got a male USB on one side, that's the output, and you have an HDMI port on the other side, and that's the input. So what you're going to do, you take your HDMI cable, plug it into your camera, you plug it into the HDMI port, and you plug that into your computer, obviously you turn on the camera, open up either OBS or the Microsoft camera app, and pretty much you're done. If you want better sound, well, if your camera has, like mine does, has a microphone input, you can use something like this, a lavalier microphone. You can use a USB microphone just so the audio isn't so bad. Also, if you want to do vlogs or even create content for YouTube like a review or a how-to video, and you don't want to mess around with SD cards anymore, you can just plug it all into your computer and record it directly onto your hard drive, and that's pretty cool. Now, the reason why they give you this little extension lead is we all know that a lot of the ports, USB ports, are really close together. Sometimes you only get two, sometimes maybe up to three, and then you'd have to buy a USB hub. And well, if your ports are really close together and you try plugging in the HDMI, as you can tell, it's quite larger than a typical USB plug. It's a lot wider. So this part will probably cover up one of the USB ports. So you wouldn't be able to use two of them right next to each other. So that's why they give you this little extension lead. You plug this into the USB port, and then you plug this in, and then you're going to have room to plug in, say, a USB microphone or even another video capture card into that second USB port. And yes, you can run two USBs, two of these video capture cards at the same time, depending upon the type of laptop and or computer you have. If it's not the fastest laptop or desktop computer, you may want to just stick with the one, okay? Now the HDMI input that this little capture card will accept is 4K at 30 frames per second. Now that's coming into the card. The maximum output that this will put out is 1080p at 30 frames a second. So you can have 4K, even 60 frames a second, but this video card will only output 1080p at 30 frames a second. There's no drivers to be needed for this device. There's no downloading, there's no installing of any form of software, and it's USB 2.0. So gotta love it. And yes, it will work in the USB 3.0 ports, because the video example I'm about to show you, I actually plugged this into the USB 3.0 port, and I do use the Mayano USB microphone for audio instead of using this, because my Sony A5000, it doesn't have a microphone input, so I had to use a USB microphone because, well, the microphones on these, they're not all that great. Okay, enough of me talking. So let's get on to the test video to show you this thing in action. So now what you are seeing is my Sony A5000 plugged into the BlueAVS video capture card. One of the things you're probably noticing right now on the bottom of the screen is a bunch of numbers. Well, that's because this camera that I am currently using, well, it doesn't have what's called a clean HDMI output. If it did, I would be able to shut those numbers off and you would not even see those numbers. So, because, well, basically this camera is kind of an old camera, so that's why it's there. I imagine there's a nice software fix, but Sony probably won't do it. So yeah, that means I got to get a new camera. So, hey, maybe if one of you have a camera with a good clean HDMI output and you want to send it to me, hey, that'd be great. But right now I am using OBS software to record this little segment of the video. And yes, the BlueAVS will even work with the built-in camera app in the Microsoft Windows operating system. One of the very good things you can do with the OBS software is, well, you can crop those numbers out. Like you see, there's no numbers on the bottom of the screen. So with OBS, if you take a little bit of time to learn it, and there is a bit of a learning curve with it, so take your time, you can actually crop those numbers out. And this is what the Sony A5000 with the BlueAVS video capture card looks like through OBS, and it being, those numbers being cropped out. This is what it's going to look like. Okay, so you've seen my setup, the Sony A5000 plugged into the BlueAVS video capture card. You've seen that when I was recording through the OBS software. Well, now I figured, hey, let's show them what this whole same setup would look like in the built-in camera app in Windows. And this is what it is. Just to reiterate, it's the Sony A5000 camera plugged into the BlueAVS video capture card. And the only thing I forgot to mention in the previous clip, I am using the Mayano USB microphone for audio. And this is what it's going to look like. If you happen to have a newer camera, a lot newer than the one that I'm currently using, chances are your HDMI output will be clean. And what that means is, you see these numbers on the bottom? A clean HDMI output would not have them there. All right, now you actually seen this video capture card from BlueAVS in action. You've seen me use it with my Sony a5000 camera, and you've seen it me recording with the OBS software and the built-in camera app from Windows. Now, one of the best things about this is this was only like $22 or $23 when I bought it on Amazon. There's a couple cheaper ones on there too. There's one on there I think for like 14 bucks. I might get that one and do a review on that one just to see if it's a little different. Who knows? Because the print, you know, the same body is about the same, but you know, there's a little bit difference, you know, printing on it. So maybe I'll get that one and we'll see what happens. These little things are also available on eBay as well. So you just don't have to go through Amazon. You might even get the same exact thing on eBay for a heck of a lot cheaper than I did. But I bought this through Amazon, so why not, right? The only reason why I did, to be honest, the only reason why I didn't get it through eBay, it would have taken longer to get in the mail. That's really it. But like I said, if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money doing live streaming or Zoom calls for work or for school, and you don't want to spend like 112 bucks was the cheapest Elgato video capture card I seen on Amazon. And if you don't want to spend 100 bucks or more on a video capture card, this is the answer for you. You've seen it, it works really well. The only thing is, if you're going to use something like OBS, you got to learn how to use it. And once you do, you're all set. Well, that's pretty much it. This is the BlueAVS video capture card. If you like this video, please give it that thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. And don't forget about the notification bell. It would really, really help me out a lot if you were to share this video and maybe a few more of my other videos on all of your social media sites. And until the next video, you have a great day.